Hello, Star Wars fans! The Mandalorian Season 3 just wrapped up with a spectacular finale. But what went down? And did they tie up all those loose ends? Well, let's dig into it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to stay up to date on movie and TV news. I was eagerly anticipating this week's finale. At the end of the previous week's episode, I wanted to see how everything wrapped up. This episode managed to tie up most of the plot points and come to a satisfying conclusion. Though I am still a little confused as to why we had a whole episode dedicated to Dr. Pershing, if he just disappeared from the plot. Elia Kane and Moff Gideon's reveal could have been done in a way that didn't involve reintroducing a character just to never see him again. Even if his mind was erased, it would have been nice to see him munching on his ration crackers and enjoying Excel spreadsheets. When we ended the show last week, things were looking pretty grim for Din Djarin and the rest of the Mandalorians. I'm assuming since we did not see Paz Vizsla return that the valiant hero is in fact dead. But no body means that the door isn't closed yet. His son Ragnar bookends the season. The beginning of the show opened with him being inducted into the Children of the Watch, and now he's initiated into the Creed of the Living Waters by reciting the oath at the end of this season. The battle scenes were epic. Axe Wolves manages to break into the atmosphere and gather the reinforcement Mandalorians. They are under attack by TIE fighters. Axe orders all the Mandalorians off the ship and faces the attacking fighters head-on. Near the end of the battle, he epically plows the burning ship into Moff Gideon's secret lair, destroying it, and Moff Gideon for what is hopefully the last time. Prior to that, we saw an amazing air mid-collision and jetpack fight between the Mandalorians and flying dark troopers. This scene highlighted the combined strength of a united Mandalorian people and showcased each of their unique powers. Bo-Katan led the charge wielding the Darksaber. Meanwhile, Din Djarin fights his way free from his captors with the help of Grogu. They decide that Moff Gideon needs to be stopped once and for all, or he will keep coming after them. Enlisting the help of the droid R2, they make their way to Gideon's war room. On the way, Din Djarin fights his way through a series of force fields, taking out dark troopers 2 at a time. It was great to see Din Djarin in action. This scene was reminiscent of the force field scene in Phantom Menace, and it gave Din Djarin a chance to shine in his martial prowess. On the other side of the force field, they destroy Moff Gideon's clones before Din and Grogu engage in an epic battle. Right as they gain the upper hand, the Praetorian guards return and almost get the better of Din Djarin, but Grogu steps in and lures them into another room where he force jumps literal circles around their heads. Bo-Katan shows up and she fights Moff Gideon, the Darksaber being destroyed in the process. This is a nice touch because unlike last time when she surrendered to him, she is now fighting for her people and they are following her, even without the Darksaber. Hopefully this signals a new start for Mandalore where the people can work together without civil strife over a single leader or a single way of life. Din Djarin goes to help Grogu, and between Grogu's magnificent wielding of the Force and Din's strength, they take out the Praetorian guards just in time to see Moff Gideon incinerated by the exploding base. Hopefully he is dead. Grogu saves the 3 of them by holding off the blast. It was nice to see Grogu come into his Force power, really learning how to wield it. He's come a long way and proved himself to be capable. Which is why at the end of the show, Din Djarin adopts Grogu as his son. They move into a small home on Navarra, while Bo-Katan and the Armorer relight the Great Forge and start to rebuild Mandalore. The end of the season brought us back full circle to Din Djarin and Grogu, now a real family ready for new adventures in the galaxy. Overall, the episode managed to tie up some of the loose ends and fill in some of the gaps between the original series and the sequels. It's clear that the creators are setting up the New Order and much of the conflict in The Force Awakens. I did feel like the episode was a bit short and would have liked a little bit more to it. Over the course of the season, the plot was lost several times and wandered. The show no longer felt like a story about Din Djarin, but an ensemble piece about politics in the galaxy. It wasn't until the last episode that it really got its stride back, returning to what won our hearts in the first place, a father-son story. Jon Favreau has announced that Season 4 is in the works, but the way that this season ended, it could be a finale for these characters and their stories. Either way, I'm sure that Din Djarin and Din Grogu will continue to be staples in the universe. What did you think about the episode and the series overall? Please leave your comments below and remember to like and subscribe. This is the way.